Hi Sam. I'm excited to learn with you today. Our word is
nützlich,
Hi Alex.
Nützlich.
What does that mean?
great question.
nützlich,
Means useful. It can describe something that is beneficial or helpful. The most common English meaning is useful, but it can also mean practical or advantageous.
Are there any false friends with this word?
Yes, definitely. Be careful with.
nützlich,
And the English word nurturing. They might sound similar, but they have very different meanings. Now, let's talk a bit about the grammar.
nützlich,
Is an adjective, so it doesn't have a plural form like a noun would. You use it with different articles depending on the noun it describes. For example, you could say,
ein nützliches Werkzeug,
which means a useful tool.
So how do you use it in different forms?
In the comparative, you would say,
nützlicher,
meaning more useful, and in the superlative, it's
am nützlichsten,
meaning the most useful. An opposite would be,
nutzlos,
which means useless. The word
nützlich,
comes from the Middle High German word.
nütze,
It's fascinating how it has evolved over time to represent something that provides value.
That is interesting. I love learning about the history of words.
Yes, many words have rich histories. The meaning of
nützlich,
has remained consistent, focusing on usefulness throughout its evolution. Let's break down.
nützlich,
It doesn't have a prefix or a suffix, so it's a standalone word. It's interesting how simple it is, yet it packs a lot of meaning.
So we can think of it as a single Lego block.
Exactly. And because it's an adjective, it modifies nouns directly, which helps in forming many useful phrases. Speaking of similar words, there are quite a few. For example,
nützlich,
pairs nicely with,
Nützlichkeit,
which means usefulness. Both share the root.
nütz,
You also have,
nutzbar,
meaning usable, and,
nutzen,
which means to use.
What about other words that might be similar?
Sure. How about,
nutzen,
meaning to use? Then there's,
nutzen,
which is the noun for benefit. We also have,
nutzlos,
which I mentioned earlier, meaning useless. And don't forget,
nutzbringend,
meaning profitable.
Wow, that's a lot of words connected to.
Nützlich.
Yes, and if we look at some with the same suffix, we could consider
Kreativ.
and,
Kreativität.
meaning creative and creativity. Let's practice using
Nützlich.
in real-life situations. Imagine you're at a workshop, you might say,
Dieses Werkzeug ist sehr nützlich.
which means this tool is very useful.
Okay, let me try.
Diese Information ist nützlich.
Perfect. Now, think about using it at the doctor's office. You could say,
Diese Tipps sind nützlich für meine Gesundheit.
meaning these tips are useful for my health.
Got it.
Diese Tipps sind nützlich für mich.
Great job. Lastly, when traveling, you might say,
Eine nützliche Karte ist wichtig.
which means a useful map is important.
Eine Karte ist nützlich für den Weg.
Exactly. You're getting the hang of it. Just a quick note about gender.
Nützlich.
Is an adjective, so it will change with the noun. When paired with a masculine noun, you say,
Nützlicher.
and for feminine, it's
Nützliche.
That makes sense.
for a memory hint, you can think of
Nützlich.
as something that can always help you, like a Swiss Army knife. Now, about usage.
Nützlich.
Is informal but can be used in formal contexts too. Some common phrases are
Nützliche Hinweise.
meaning useful tips, and
Nützliche Informationen.
meaning useful information.
Are there any words that people confuse with it?
Yes, some confuse it with,
Nutzen.
which means to use. Remember.
Nützlich.
Describes how helpful something is. Let's wrap things up with some example sentences. For instance,
Diese App ist sehr nützlich für mein Studium.
meaning this app is very useful for my studies.
Ein nützliches Buch kann viel helfen.
Perfect. Another one could be,
Hat viele nützliche Tipps gegeben.
meaning he gave many useful tips.
I can say,
Die nützlichen Informationen waren hilfreich.
Exactly. And one more could be,
Sie fand das nützliche Werkzeug in der Schublade.
meaning she found the useful tool in the drawer. Alright, let's do a quick recall check. What does
Nützlich.
mean?
it means useful.
Good. Can you give me the comparative form?
Nützlicher.
Correct. What's the opposite of
Nützlich.
That would be,
Nutzlos.
great? Can you give me an example sentence with
Nützlich.
Diese Information ist nützlich.
yes? One last question. Where does
nützlich,
come from?
It comes from Middle High German.
Exactly. You really nailed it, Sam. To sum it all up, today we learned about the word,
nützlich.
its meanings, forms, and how to use it in various contexts. Keep practicing, and you'll master it in no time.
Thanks, Alex. This was really helpful.